The COVID-19 outbreak is taking its toll on some Singapore businesses when it comes to paying bills on time. Nearly half of all payments in the first 2 months of this year were late, the worst result in almost 3 years.
And the figures have been gathered by the Singapore Commercial Credit Bureau, which says it's a clear sign companies are running into trouble. Brendan Tanoto tells us more.
The services and construction sectors are among the hardest hit when it comes to making payments on time in the first 2 months of 2020. Such delayed payments make up more than 42% of total payment transactions. It's worse than the nearly 40% in the fourth quarter of 2019 before the outbreak. SCCB said it's clear that firms are facing cash flow problems and face the risk of higher payment delinquency ahead. The Singapore Business Federation's SME committee says the situation is a concern.
Some companies take as long as 6 months to pay their bills, and that's very, very unhealthy for small business that depend on healthy payment by their counterparties to support their cash flow so that their business can run. That incurs a lot of financing costs for the supplier because they've ordered the goods, they've supplied it and not received payments for it. Sometimes companies can go bankrupt because of these things.
Experts say such financial woes can also affect the livelihood of employees.
If there's a slowdown in payments, say at a particular company, that impacts its suppliers, which then impacts its suppliers. Now each of these people have employees, which means it's harder to pay salaries on time. If you're not as confident of your income, then it would probably impact how much you're willing to spend. So I guess the idea is, one of the things that governments like to do is to come in and give stimulus.
And it was a point highlighted by Finance Minister Heng Swee Keat in his budget speech. He said retaining jobs is the government's foremost concern. The government's $4 billion stabilisation and support package aims to provide job and cash flow support to help firms retain and retrain workers. The new job support scheme and the existing wage credit scheme also helps with deferring wage costs. Now, experts say these measures will help firms address cash flow problems and to avoid defaulting on their payments. The government is also urging businesses to use a slower pace of activity to build capabilities and upskill workers. If these are in place, businesses may be better positioned during a recovery.